Hi, this represents the third open book session that I'm recording. All of these open book sessions provide a record of my work as an amateur photographer over the past 30 years. The first open book was Misery, a series of pictures, prints, gelatin silver prints that I had shot and printed of homeless people in Chicago and San Francisco. The second open book was How Do You Want to Be Remembered? A series of portraits, both headshots and environmental portraits, of people whom I've met, some friends, mostly strangers that I see on the street, and I ask if I can take their picture. And sometimes I did ask them, well, how do you want to be remembered? And this third photo book is a compilation of images that really record how I've seen the world over many years. And this third photo book, a rough photo book that I've put together, is called Images from Earth, put together in mid-February. Today's the 16th of February, a Sunday, by me, Jay Martin. So let's go through the images, and I'll explain them, mostly by reading the captions for each. Images from Earth. Images from Earth is a way of teaching you how to see the world as if you're seeing it for the first time. That's how I started photography. I always asked myself when I went out with the camera, how can I see the world as if I'm seeing it for the first time? I present you a set of gelatin silver prints that challenge your perception of the scene. Because I don't give you complete context, you'll find that the content may lack the 5 W's and the H that typical photojournalists, reporters would give you, or editors would give you in a picture. While there is a risk of not telling you a coherent story without a full description, without context, you might be inspired by some ideas in this book on how to report your own visual experience. I hope you find some of my prints will evoke some feelings about moments reported from Earth. So I'm asking you not only just to look at the pictures critically, but to see if they evoke any feelings from you. Photographers are attracted to pattern, and there's no exception to this particular print called hula hoops. The hula hoops bring the picture together, which is probably why I took it. This was, in fact, in front of City Hall in San Francisco 8 years ago. It helped. I took the picture and emphasized the high contrast, and that's thanks to the bad light. I've often shot in bad light. There are a series of pictures in Brooklyn that I took in bad light that were reasonably successful. We don't care so much about who the people are or even what they are doing. The print is all about form, pattern, form, changing here or elsewhere every moment. Clearly, the hula hoops and the figures, these forms are tied together. An image from Earth. Like hula hoops, there is a pattern in this print. It's of people looking in the same direction. I point the camera where they're looking. If we take our eyes off our phones, we see people taking their eyes off theirs to see something more important than what's on their phones. And I'm recording this at a time when everyone is glued to their mobile phones. Perhaps in 10 or 20 years the technology will change and we won't have this habit in our daily lives, almost every moment of our daily lives, at least in the US. We have no idea what these people are looking at. That's the mystery. Look for out of the ordinary. Another image from Earth. Without context, we can be frustrated or transfixed by the mystery in a print. Look at this print. Mysteries have staying power, which can make some images more memorable than others. Take a mental walk down the center path of the print, of this print, to see where it takes you. You might never come back. And I challenge you to figure out what this print is showing. Does it even matter? An image from Earth. This image borders on gimmick. I'll admit to that. Seeing a hand in a jewelry shop window is not unexpected. Still, the hand brings life to the print by being the fleshy focal point in the picture. The hand displays at a very critical moment to the success of the image. If you recall the print of the sunbathing woman in How Do You Want to Be Remembered, that's the second open book I mentioned. The background of the Marin headlands and the Golden Gate Bridge grace the reclining woman who's seated at China Beach. Here, the hill and trees in the background dignify a street lamp. We are reminded by how much nature adds to the importance of things. We're stuck with a coexistence between humans and nature everywhere. I always find this a constant tension between things that people make and natural beauty. I hope this challenges you, that when you go out, you can see there's truly a compatibility between humanity and nature. I'm beginning to wonder. This image might be very hard to see, and in a later video where I show large prints that are matted, some framed, you'll have a better idea of what this picture shows. This image from Earth is uniquely Castro. The scene is normal for the neighborhood. The hood celebrates the banality of absurdity. Reflections in the print of the fully clothed man amplify the absurdity. Here you have the naked man at Castro, the Twin Peaks in the corner, where Market Street intersects Castro. You have the naked man, the fully clothed man, and if you look closely, there's even another naked man here in the reflection. If you see into a print deeply, you might see more than you bargained for. Two more very tiny prints, but that's the point. This set of tiny prints is not groundbreaking. I printed the set small and in high contrast to show living jewels, the jewels of plants I saw on the Big Island of Hawaii. Images from Earth celebrate nature. The images I shoot in the years to follow will turn the celebration of nature into an earnest call for preservation. At least that's one of my goals when I continue shooting, and maybe I'll have enough prints to do another open book. But we're kind of wrapping up the series for the early 21st century. By the way, these particular prints were part of a bigger series, and I had written some poetry to go along, some verse to go along these prints. When I'm dead, maybe someone will find the series and they can see what kind of record I have of Botanica in Hawaii, if I'm lucky, or if someone else is lucky. Images from nature, images from Earth. A bigger picture, I'm helping you now. The single chin-strap penguin makes us wonder if there are any left. I took the picture on the Antarctica Peninsula 10 years ago. The die-off of penguins since then, those who have starved and fallen into the melting crevasses, makes the bleak image all too real. By the way, this image was briefly featured in 2010, maybe in 2011, by the New York Times on a story about the 9 billion people in the world are projected to be on Earth. I distinctly remember taking this picture. A very cooperative animal. Admittedly, I'm irritated by this diptych because of its execution. The inconsistency of the portrait and landscape formats was a mistake. In the later shot on the right, I meant to shoot the tree as a portrait. It was originally shot as landscape, and I cut it to compensate. So the rescued tree would look mighty. I had wanted to shoot in the portrait because I think it would have emphasized with more context what is happening to this tree. In the original picture, there was a removal notice attached to this plastic wrap. I call an obi in Japanese. In the print of the rescue tree, you'll see limbs cut. That way to prevent the imminent splitting of the tree. The obi is no more, the notice is gone, and we have to assume, at least for the moment, that this tree was rescued. And I thought we needed to celebrate this and these two images from Earth. And finally, I call this series of tiny prints, 4x5 prints, these small prints are contact prints, by the way, Air Quality Index, or AQI. In the fall of 2018, wildfires in the North Bay sent soot to the Bay Area for 2 weeks. The smog smothered San Francisco and its optimism about the future of the quality of its life. I am hoping that images from Earth will not all fade to gray. So you can see images from Earth serves not only as a celebration of nature, but also as a record of our current state of the planet. It also serves as a way to be able to see the world as a tool, as an instruction of how we can approach our daily lives, with or without a camera, to enjoy and appreciate what we have here, now and in the future. I do want to make one footnote to this open book, that I will have one video to show you, again, as I mentioned, of my oversized matted prints that I could not easily fit into these rough photo books, so that you get a better idea of what I'm trying to take pictures of, because you'll be able to see them better, and I'll actually show my face.